Feeling way better too, because as you can notice, if you're watching this particular podcast via YouTube, if you're listening via the audio part, what are you doing? Make sure you jump over to YouTube and watch that on YouTube too and hear it in the background, right? Help me out with the algorithm. But if you're watching this from YouTube, you shall see there's some natural light coming in that's also showing up my flag, which I need to steam actually. I need to steam my flag because there's so much light coming in that now you're picking up way more of the creases on my flag. That's how nice it is outside. It's so nice. It's showing up that I haven't ironed my flag in a long time. So I need to iron or steam my flag soon because the sun is out. I'm feeling good. I'm really happy for once because the sun is out. How weird is that, by the way? Huh? How weird is it that the sun affects us this much? Huh? How strange. How strange is it that when the weather improves, suddenly our mood improves? Like, I, for the longest time, been saying, and I'll always say, that England, in general, is the home of bad vibes, in my personal opinion. But I've always wondered, how much better would it be to live in England? How much better would it be to live in a city like London, one of the most expensive cities in the world, if the weather was a little bit better? If we had, which I've always said, I think this country is in need of at least 4 months of sun. 4 months. Because we don't get proper summers. Like, we get weird summers where, like, it starts, right? You might get like a good week. Then 2 days is crappy. Then you might get 2 days. Then 3 days is good. You know, it's always stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Which is why most people who live in this country, especially if you live up north, because the weather's usually a bit worse up there. If you live in a country anywhere, you will know the phenomenon of always going out with your jacket. People up north are built different than people down in the south. We're really soft. Us southerners are really soft. My fellow brothers and sisters up north, they're a little bit more raggo and hard, and they can go out all day with just their shirt on and no jacket, and they'll just firm it, right? And it's a good decision because you save money on the fucking cloakroom, you save time queuing up at the cloakroom, and you also don't have to worry about another thing that you might lose. And we've all been there, right? I'm a jacket guy, but the amount of jackets I've lost in my lifetime, I don't want to think about. The amount of jackets I've lost in my lifetime, I don't want to think about. You know, Balenciaga stuff, like Supreme stuff, like just, it breaks my heart. Neighborhood jackets, double tap jackets, like, oh, Supreme jackets, oh, Bathing Ape jackets, oh, we've lost many. So if you can go out without no jacket, you're fine. But if you're like me and you're southerner and you're a little bit soft, you're a little bit soft, you need to have a jacket. But that's always crap. So I feel like if we had 4 months, a minimum of 4, maybe 6 months every year of like good weather, everybody's mood would improve. You wouldn't care too much that the oyster, you wouldn't care too much that a single journey in the oyster is like nearly £5. You wouldn't care too much that, you know, to go out on a night out with your friends, you're already spending 100 quid, even without drugs. You wouldn't care too much that every meal in London is basically £50 per head, no matter where you go. You wouldn't care too much about the housing, the lack of housing and stuff. You wouldn't care too much about whatever council housing that you do get is dilapidated. You wouldn't care too much about the exorbitant rent. You wouldn't care too much about the shitty NHS. You wouldn't honestly care about a lot of things in this country if the weather was just marginally better. If we had more days like it is out there today, where it was like that for 4 months. Let me be conservative. Let me be a little bit fair. Let me pull that back a bit. Let me walk that back a bit. Give us 2 months. 2 months of like decent weather. That's 60 days approximately of just back to back hot. So I don't have to go out with a jacket. Like today I popped out, I did a little cycle around my area, get some fucking oxygen in my lungs, and it was fucking lovely to go out in just a t-shirt and some fucking shorts with no fucking socks. I road dog my Vans like fucking Ashton Hall. Big up Ashton Hall, more on him later, right? I road dog my Vans, no fucking undershirt, no anything, no jacket, no hoodie, just t-shirt and shorts, right? And I had a fucking blast cycling around my fucking ends. Why can't we have that more? It would generally improve the atmosphere, the feeling, just the vibe of this country exponentially. But we don't. So here we are. So here we are. So today's show is jam-packed. I've got so many things to talk to you about. So many things. So wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing right now, grab yourself a drink, relax, chill. I've got a couple over there that I'm going to get, across the fucking couple of hours that we'll be together. And we're going to go through some very entertaining cultural commentary content from the #1 cultural commentary show in the world, bar none. Don't accept any imitations. You know, there's some shows out there that do a madness, whatever. I'm here. cultural commentary number one. You get it. You get it. All right, cool. You get it. Cool. Let's move on. Let's move on.